people. It is great to be here. Thank you for joining. Can I just quickly tell you what the law of the universe is? Anything that you feed, nurture, and invest in grows in. Anything that you neglect, ignore, or deprive will wither and die. I know that's a bit dramatic, but why am I telling you this? Well, I'm telling you this because your small investment right now to improve your psychology, your perspective, and your optimism will pay huge dividends for you in the future. My simple objective is to pump your life full of these best positive psychology, growth mindset, and cognitive behavioral skills in the planet, and then watch you go and rock this world with your energy, idealism, and awesomeness. Let's go. So your question this week is fabulous, by the way, and it may be something that you have experienced, may experience in the future, and also something that may be happening to one of your friends or you right now. One of you asked, how do I handle unwanted attention? I don't know what else to do. It's starting to feel a little like harassment. Oh. I think this is a little bit of a sensitive topic. I mean, it's wonderful to be liked. It's wonderful to have someone who's showing interest in you, to have someone who wants to be your friend or boyfriend or girlfriend. I mean, it's a nice compliment, right? But there's a line there, right? And today I want to talk about that line and help you to not cross it, and also to give you some tips on how to set boundaries and get help if you need it. So years and years ago, I chatted with this young man who had just gone through a breakup. He and his girlfriend had been together for a little while, but then his girlfriend broke up with him and he was heartbroken. It's hard to be rejected. And of course, he was trying to deal with it and wanted to move forward, but it was really difficult for him to just let it go and move on. So he continued to try to get together with this girl. He would follow her on Instagram, Facebook, Snap, and make comments on her posts. She really didn't like that. She was ready to move on and felt like his behavior was inappropriate and clingy. I mean, he was persistent, right? He really liked this girl and really wanted to get back together with her, and honestly, he was misreading the clues. So he pressed on until she spoke to one of the vice principals at the school, who brought him in and said, dude, you gotta stop. This young lady doesn't know what else to do to get you to leave her alone. Well, fortunately for him, he did get the message. He did stop and did the best he could to move on, which of course he did, and now he's fine and on to new adventures. On her part, this young lady was kind. She was sweet. She didn't want to be rude to him. That just wasn't her style, and so even though she wasn't texting him back or engaging him in social media or whatever they were communicating on, she just couldn't bring herself to confront him directly and say, hey, I am not interested. I need space. Please don't contact me again. Or how Taylor Swift would say, we're never, ever, ever, ever getting back together again. I know that was a little much, but I think I got the message across, right? Okay, let's break this down a little bit. Now, you know that I'm a huge fan of yes. I think as a people, we need to say yes more often. Yes to adventure, yes to fun, to social gatherings, to new hobbies, to events at your school or community. Yes to new things, to things that are challenging and that will stretch you. Just say yes to awesome things and quit hiding behind your phone or somewhere else. Challenge yourself. But in this case, I need to teach you how to take a no. When people do not consent, when they say no, when they're not engaging back, when they push you away, when they say that they don't want or like whatever it is that you're doing, you're saying to them, when they've broken up with you or have moved over to some new friendship, I want you to just imagine this huge stop sign in front of you and then switch directions and go a different way. I'm not trying to suggest that this is easy to do or that you won't feel sad or angry or even cry some tears or that your confidence won't be shaken. What I want to suggest is that this is a time for you to take this no and move in another direction. It's difficult to try something new, to make new friends, to start something new with someone else. But my friend, this is what you're born to do. Evolution isn't about the survival of the species. It's about the survival of the most adaptable. And being dynamic and adaptable is what you are made to do. Please trust me. You're not leaving your soulmate behind or the love of your life or the one thing that was keeping you sane. Yes, I'm sure that person you're thinking about is incredible. They're pretty awesome. We all are. But I would like to suggest that you have the ability to shift gears. Shift your focus. Put your energy into another direction and go again, my friend, because there are so many other incredible opportunities out there for you that I honestly can't even count. My goal for you is to enter into a relationship in an awesome and honorable way and to leave one in an awesome and honorable way. Don't ever try to manipulate someone or guilt someone into staying with you. Don't ever use your sadness or your own personal struggles as a justification for someone to stay with you. Someone incredibly wise taught me this simple line. No means next. And when I mean next, I really mean it's time for you to try something new, to begin a new chapter, to wipe the slate clean, to turn the page, to hit the reset button, to press the play on a new adventure, to chart a new course, shift gears, to go again, but better. A long time ago, this country singer named Garth Brooks, honestly, he was kind of a big deal back in the day, day. Some of your teachers probably know this, but he wrote this song called Unanswered Prayers. In this song, Garth Brooks tells the story about he and his wife Sandy went back to his hometown in Oklahoma and ran into his old high school flame. Flame, by the way, is old person's word for sweetheart or girlfriend. At the football game. During high school, this was the girl he wanted and had prayed for, but his prayer wasn't answered, and as a result, he believes that he ended up getting something much better. Sometimes in middle school or high school, or honestly later in life, you may want something so badly. You may be a little fixated and think that this is the most important thing ever, but you're probably going to find later on that not getting what you wanted propelled you to something potentially better. In other words, it's like what Mick Jagger of the Rolling Stones said, you can't always get what you want, but if you try, sometimes you just might find and get what you need. You got this, my friend. So how about you? What if you're getting unwanted attention from somebody and you want them to stop? What can you do? Well, let me give you some options, and you can choose to do whatever you feel is the very best choice for you. Number one, do nothing. I suppose this is one of your choices, right? Maybe you don't think this is a big deal, or you're not ready to take a more active role in stopping whatever is going on, and you're just hoping that it will stop when that person realizes that you're not interested. I think a lot of us are pretty hopeful and passive this way. And so if this is where you're at, that's okay. But just remember that if that person continues to cross that line over and over and over again, you may want to consider taking one of the next steps. Number two, say something. Look, at some point, I think it's important to tell the people in your life or in your relationships what's important to you, what you enjoy. What are some of the things that just don't work for you? Relationships are the pinnacle of maturity. And so learning how to navigate these waters is really important. This could be a great first step. If someone is doing something that's making you angry, uncomfortable, afraid, controlled, or harassed, just call it what it is and say it to that person. You can do this in person, over a phone call, video, text, email. How you do it is less important. What matters is that you take a step, create a clear boundary, and hold to it. Don't be afraid to repeat it. Sometimes people need to hear something multiple times. If someone is harming you, harassing you, threatening you, trying to control you, scaring you, in my opinion, it's time for you to straighten your back. Take a deep breath, muster up some courage, and say no, definitively. What do you think? Here's another suggestion for you. 3, get someone to help you. Just like that young lady who spoke to someone she trusted at her school. Man, we all need a little help sometimes. This is normal. You're not some weakling who's a freak. We all need a little support sometimes. So don't be afraid to reach out and speak openly to your parents, your siblings, your friends, or trusted adults in your community or school, and ask for a little help and a fresh and objective perspective. Man, I've been a therapist for 20 years, and one of the things that clients appreciate the very most about what I do for them is that because I'm not totally embedded in their personal life, I can sometimes offer a more objective perspective that helps them to see the entire iceberg and not just the tip. Know what I'm saying? Anyways, you don't have to have all the answers, and that's all right. Maybe this hasn't been the most exciting or easy to talk about topic. Can I just be serious for one little moment? My dear friend, I want you to have access to every advantage in life. I want you to have a stellar reputation at your school and community. I want you to live deeply and suck out all the marrow of life. I want you to be joyous, successful, and fabulous. And by the way, I absolutely believe you can be. I'm telling you this because some of these things, some of what we're talking about, some of these harassing behaviors can have some serious consequences in your life, in your school, even legally. You know, I am not here to scare you, but I've got to be real. And I want to protect you from making the kinds of mistakes that could honestly create some huge obstacles in your path. And you don't need those. So remember, awesome and honorable going into relationships, awesome and honorable going out of relationships. Thank you for listening, and have a lovely day.